Celestial blessings. My name is Helen Demetriou, and today I'm going to talk about who are the Anunnaki. Now, I do have many videos relating to who the Anunnaki are, including their many stories, and you can find them on my channel. You can also visit my mystery school to read more channelings and also the official Anunnaki Earth Council. You'll find the links below to those sites, but just in case, you can just visit them at www.esophoria.org and www.anunnakicouncil.com. Now, there are many misconceptions about the Anunnaki. Whether or not you are one of those who believe that they are actual gods, or if they're just beings that came to Earth and they're the same as any other tribe in the universe. Now, one of the beliefs are that the Anunnaki are these negative beings that came to Earth and they created a slave race to mine for gold because the atmosphere on their planet, Nibiru, had a big problem and they had to fix it, so they had to grind down this gold and they had to create a net around their planet. Now, this theory has been spread about from the books from Zecharia Sitchin, and I mention him many times in my videos because all of his work, the majority of his work, is based on untruths, and they're not based on the translations from Sumer and from Babylon or the Assyrian or the Chaldean tablets. What he basically did was he doesn't have any knowledge of translating the tablets. He studied economics at university, and what he did was he embellished on the stories to make them more exciting so that he could sell his books. I will also put a link in the underbar to an article which explains who the Anunnaki are in greater depth. I'm just going to discuss this with you today, and there we also give links to find the true text regarding gold and Nibiru. Now, number one, Nibiru is not a planet. The only time that Nibiru is mentioned as a planet in the ancient tablets from Sumer is when Jupiter is at a certain place in the sky, and then it is known as Marduk's star because Enki and Enlil gave their attributes to Marduk, and when Enlil used to be known as Jupiter, so Marduk became known as Jupiter. So that is the only reason, because Marduk was called Nibiru because he slayed the dragon Tiamat. So this is why it is called, sometimes it is known as Nibiru, but there is no planet Nibiru. Nibiru was a place on Earth. It was Eden, it was the place of the gods. It was like the Olympus for the Greek gods. And there nobody died, nobody got sick. In the texts, in the translations and the tablets, we read about how Nibiru was a shrine. There was a shrine of Nibiru in Nibiru, that it used to be called Dilmun, and that it had different names, but it was always a place on Earth and a place where the gods lived. The only time that the tablets speak about the mining for gold is when it talks about the mining for gold, for silver, for crystals such as lapis lazuli and malachite and carnelian, and all of these were used to adorn the temples and themselves. It never talks ever at any time of them creating humanity to mine gold in order to take it back to the so-called planet Nibiru for the atmosphere. It never ever mentions this, and this is not it's not a conspiracy that they're hiding it, because these tablets were being translated from over 100 years ago by true scholars who wanted to understand all about the civilization of the Sumerians. Another misconception is that the Anunnaki came to Earth and created the human race to be their slaves. If people really researched the tablets, they would find that there were three root races created on Earth. First was created by Enki. The second was also created by Enki, and the third was created by Marduk and Inanna. So we know for definite, so far from the translations, that there were three races of humans that were created. It doesn't mean that we're different races. We're all human races. All of these races were human races. Another thing that people like to share and build their theories upon the Sitchin theory is that the Anunnaki were once a negative race, but they've turned to the light. There is nothing that can prove this theory. There is nothing in the text that has ever said that the Anunnaki were negative beings who turned to the light. So it makes me wonder why people, rather they would believe the words of people rather than what is written in stone. Now I am a channel for the Anunnaki gods. I speak in the frequencies of the gods and also the frequencies of many tribes in the universe. But I would never put my channelings as proof as to what really happened or as proof to describe who the Anunnaki are. I always use what is written in stone. Whether people believe it to be myth or to be real, it is still what was written to explain who the Anunnaki are. We also understand in the tablets that the Anunnaki were native to Earth. Earth was their planet. It never says that the Anunnaki came from another planet to Earth and began to inhabit it. We learn about how the gods were born on Earth. They were different to the humans that they created. And I'll explain a little bit to you now about what the Anunnaki look like. The Anunnaki are very tall. I would say that they were like basketball player size. They're well built. They have muscular bodies, strong bones structure. They have different coloured hair, brown, blonde, black. They have different coloured eyes. Sometimes their eyes can change from blue to green and to brown. There are many minor differences between us and them. One of them being is that the male Anunnaki gods do not have a foreskin, but the male humans do, and this is what tells them apart. Apart from them being taller than humans, they do not have a foreskin. The men do not have foreskins, and many who tried to be god-like would in their initiation would be circumcised so that they could be more godlike and more closer to the gods, or try to be as the gods. So there is nothing that says in the texts, in the tablets, that the Anunnaki were negative beings. What we do find in the tablets were there were invaders that came to Earth, and the Anunnaki were fighting them. There were wars in the heavens with these beings to protect Earth and to protect humanity. And many of the times we read how for the sake of humanity, maybe the Anunnaki were outnumbered. We read about how Marduk was arrested. He was taken in chains. He was locked up. There was a big war between the gods. Then he was taken to a mountain where he was slaughtered. He was killed. Then the son Nebu called on the mother Inanna and asked her to come, and Inanna came and she resurrected Marduk. We do hear many times about how the gods fought to protect this planet, how they fought to protect their children. They regularly call the humans their children. they regularly say how they fought to protect humanity. They always say how they wanted the humans to learn how to work the land, to build it up, to become the builders and architects like the Anunnaki, so that this planet could be habitable, and that it could grow, and the civilization could grow, so that we could become more advanced. The first humans were very advanced. They were like the gods. I mean, we're all gods. We all come from the gods. But the first humans were like the gods. They were very advanced. They were well schooled and trained in the Anunnaki mysteries. They had advanced knowledge and wisdom. They were a lot taller. They were a lot more intelligent, spiritually advanced. But what happened was, when there was a split in starting in Atlantis, because there was a negative race who began to poison humans against the Anunnaki, because they wanted to rule them, and they're what you know as the elite today. And they split. The Great White Brotherhood, as you know as the Ascended Masters, were part of the first humans. They had to go underground because the Dark Brotherhood, or the Dark Lodge, or the elite, or whatever you want to call them, were hunting them, and they had told the rest of humanity, you don't need gods, you don't need gods to rule you, you can rule yourselves. And then they chose the Dark Brotherhood to be their rulers, and that's when we start with the religion and the brainwashing and the repression of human experience, when they began to devolve and degenerate because of religion, and religion stopped humanity from vibrating at the frequency that they were, the same as the gods. And so even they began to live less years, and they became smaller in their body. So basically, this is the story about who the Anunnaki are. They was on Earth. They created the humans to work the Earth in order to make it habitable, and they gifted the Earth to humanity. If they were slave drivers, like these false stories, then why would they give humans free will and give them the Earth? The gods never really interfered in the lives of humans. They stayed in Der Anki, or Nibiru, which is a mountain like Mount Olympus, and each god was responsible for each country in the world. And they were guiding them and making sure that the divine laws were kept by all. And when I say all, that means humans and gods. They all had to abide by the same laws to stop the civilization or society falling into chaos. There had to be laws. And they appointed kings to rule and to guide and to keep this law and to keep order. It was never meant for the kings to rule as dictators. This is something that happened in time after the split of the Dark and the White Brotherhoods. Now that was the reason why the Anunnaki, they wanted to create humans. They wanted to create beings, and they did. And they created different races of humans. And all that they asked basically was that humanity respect them and honor them, because they used to walk among humans, and they loved humans, and there was a very close bond between humans and the gods. The divine was here. Heaven was on earth. And there was a time when we all knew the gods, but the gods did go into a different dimension, which is not part of the tablets. This part is what I've been told myself, because you can still visit Nibiru now. You can still visit Dilmun. There's just ruins there, because it's gone to the Nibiru of the gods has gone into a different dimension. So the gods are still here. They are still on Earth. They're just not in our dimension. But they cannot come here and invade Earth, because obviously the humans are going to fight them. Number one, we've been told and brainwashed that they're negative beings and that there is no God but the God of the Bible. So if any of these beings ever came to Earth, we would reject our ancestors. That was the whole purpose of getting us to hate our ancestors. So that when they wanted to come here and help, we would reject them and fight them and attack them. And that would not be a good thing, because they'd have to protect themselves and there'd be many lives lost. So how do they come to Earth to help us? Well, number one, they are working with various different tribes of the universe, and they're all part of a council called the Universal Council of Light. Some people call it the Galactic Council. And because they can't incarnate, because they can't come here as they are, because they also vibrate too fast to be among us, they incarnate as humans. They send their human avatars to Earth to record information, to do work here, to make changes on Earth, and to prepare the way for the new world, which we're already entering into now. You may find different things in the news regarding new discoveries, like the ice is melting and new places are emerging into our reality. There's been the earthquakes in Pakistan, which has resulted in 3 new islands coming up from the seabed, and you can go and look at those in the news also. So basically, our world is merging with the new world, and we're being prepared for this new world. And slowly, we're beginning to vibrate to faster frequency so that we can be next to the gods. Now, those who dispute about them being gods, for me, any being that creates a race of beings is a god. And all throughout history, if you look at all the pantheons, they speak about the gods are the same beings. Because you'll notice that every single god in every pantheon has, they're either a god of love, a god of the storms, a god of the underworld, a blah blah blah, and all of them are exactly the same as the Anunnaki gods. So the Anunnaki gods, they migrated to different places in the world, and they have in every country an equivalent to the original Anunnaki gods, but they are the same. So for me, they are gods. They are divine. They are the royalty of the universe, and every tribe in the universe recognizes them as being the royal family of the universe. And there's not just the gods. There is an Anunnaki nation, which are people that are beings that are Anunnaki. And there might not be royalty and part of the royal family of the gods pantheon, but they're still Anunnaki, and they're still just like the gods. You know, they're tall, they're strong, they look like them, etc., etc., etc. So when people incarnate and they feel that they're connected to the Anunnaki, they are Anunnaki, they're probably they've had past lives of when they were the first Anunnakis to be on this planet. And many of them are also avatars. Basically, the body is an avatar, and the soul is what drives the body. The body is a vehicle, and the soul drives it. So we're all avatars in a sense. We all have a vehicle, the body, which the soul drives until that mission is complete and that body is no longer needed. So the body dies and the soul departs. So these are who the Anunnaki are. It is everybody's choice if they wish to follow those that talk bad about the Anunnaki, and they give this false information all over the internet that the Anunnaki were negative beings, and then they found the light. In one way, what they're saying is an abomination against all of humanity, because we come from the gods. We come from the Anunnaki. They're our ancestors. Could you imagine turning your back on your mother or your father? They are our parents. I mean, Father Enki and Mother Ninmah, otherwise known as Ninhursag, she birthed humans. His sperm and her womb, she birthed humanity, the first humans. We come from the gods. They are our parents. And they love us and they care about us. So can you imagine turning your back on your own family, on your own mother, just because of what somebody said? The truth all lies in the tablets, and you can find them if you steer clear of Sitchin's rubbish and also some of the other people who have got rich on building on the theories of Sitchin. I mean, I was reading some of these insane writings, articles, channelings from this particular couple that say that they said the most disgusting things about the Anunnaki, such as the Anunnaki gods used to sew the sexual genitals of animals onto themselves in order to have sex with women, with human women. I mean, this kind of thing, it's, you must have a sick mind if you can make these things up and project it onto humanity and lies against our ancestors. So people say, well, not every being in every race can be good. I agree with this. Yet these are the people that can't understand that just because a goddess is an underworld goddess, it doesn't mean she's evil. She's not like Satan or the devil, and she's evil just because she's an underworld goddess. This is her job. And it also reminds me of these people, if you say to them, do you like the angels? Do you work with the angels? They say, yes, the angels have helped me, the angels healed me. Okay, if God, we're talking figurative now, if God told the angels, the avenging angels or the punishing angels, the destroying angels, Archangel Michael, go and destroy earth. Archangel Michael will do as he is told, and he will follow his instructions. He will not think about humanity, whether it might make him hurt or not. He will still carry out these orders. Is Archangel Michael evil? Are the angels evil for carrying out the orders of God? This is something that you need to think about. What is evil? What is negative? Is negative thinking about the whole and working towards a divine plan for the sake of the rest of humanity? I mean, what is negative to people? What is evil to people? Why is it easy to accept that the angels are loving and kind and they help humanity, but if they were told to destroy humanity, they would do it? And we know that they have from the stories in the Bible. We know that they were sent to destroy whole cities and massacre people, yet people don't see them as being negative. So why do they see the Anunnaki as being negative when they are following the divine plan for the good of the whole? So this is also something for you to think about. The Anunnaki are connected to us. We all are made in the image of the Anunnaki, whether people like this or not. This is their domain. This is their world. Just sadly, when they allowed us and gave us free will to create our own reality, we allowed the dark ones to come in and create our matrix. And this is not the divine matrix. This is a false and created matrix that we're living in. So basically, we need to reconnect with our ancestors. We need to reopen those channels, not closed by them, but closed by us, because we've been taught that it's either dangerous or bad to connect with gods. There are no other god but Allah or Yahweh, or even though Yahweh is the Anunnaki god. He's one of the Anunnaki gods. So we have to reopen these channels and communication lines with the Anunnaki, because they're guiding us and they're giving us, they've left us teachings and guidelines of how to live our lives and how to get out of this matrix. But the longer that we keep on listening to these false theories about the Anunnaki being negative and slave drivers and murdering everybody and doing all these bad things, and the longer that we're never going to escape this vicious circle that we're in. So please look at the links at the bottom of this video. Read the link that is called The Answer of the Anunnaki, because this goes into depth about who the Anunnaki are, and gives links for you to go and look at to see for yourselves that all of this coming Nibiru, mining for gold for Nibiru, is a load of rubbish. So thank you for listening. Have a fantastic day. Bye bye.